Welcome to the QI. I am your host, DJ 10th Power.
I'm your host, DJ Duce.
We'd like to welcome you to our first broadcast where we talk about the latest topics and what's hot on the street. Today I want to start off with what's going on in music. And we have Tashiki, am I saying his name right?
Takashi.
Takashi.
Snitch 9.
6ix9ine on trial here. And the word is that he's being a so-called snitch. What are your thoughts on this whole thing?
No one's safe. Those are my thoughts. Grandmas can get locked up. Your father, hell, the mailman. Anyone's vulnerable at this point. Like, this guy's just going around telling on everyone.
Yeah, but also, for me, the problem is that you shouldn't have been what you're not anyway, right, from the beginning. He thought going into being the gang,
right.
The music that he was doing at first wasn't working for him.
Right.
And so he decided to big his name up by joining a gang and then doing gangster music.
Yep.
Be who you are and what you're doing in this music business.
Exactly. Yep. And then when you get hit with 10 to 20 years, this is what happens. And then, like I said, Cardi B was brought into it. Jim Jones was brought into it. I know one of the other Dipset affiliates was brought into it. Mel Matrix.
Chris
Brown. Like I said, the mailman, the dog down the street that's taking a piss on the fire hydrant right now. Like, sky's the limit.
Yeah, and my thing is, I don't believe in this thing called snitching. He's trying to save his own hide, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna play devil's advocate here and say I don't believe in snitching. He doesn't want to do a whole lot of time, so he's doing what he has to do to save himself. Now, what happens to him when he hits the streets, that's a whole nother thing.
Yeah, he'll be in protective custody, I think, the rest of his life.
If he's smart, he'll go to protective custody because he's a wanted man as we speak.
Oh, yeah, everyone's going to be out to get him for sure.
Yeah. DMX has re-signed with Def Jam.
Yes, I think everyone's excited about that. We
And
need an X
LL Cool
album. LL. We need albums. I need albums.
I think, I think it's good for X because he's hot right now. He's doing shows and he's touring and he's getting a lot of love. And I think it's a good thing to get him back in the mix. I think Def Jam needs somebody like him now.
Yeah, a veteran of that stance. I mean, you're talking about a guy that at one point was at the top of the world with his records and just number ones. And it's good to see someone like him get back on his feet over the course of a year and now be in a position where he can make new music, release new music, because we haven't heard much from X really as far as music.
Right. And to be honest, some of the stuff that I heard I didn't really like. It just seemed like he was still stuck in the 90s. Maybe if somebody got him on a track where he could give a 16 and let it, because when I see him freestyle, clearly he still has it. Uh-huh. So that's the DMX that I want to see.
Right. And
not stuck in that 90s where he's still barking and all that. I mean, let that go.
Yeah, like you're older now. Like, how old is X?
He's got to be pushing, what, 40?
Yeah.
40 something?
Yeah.
Easy. So, and I think he's got to move with the times if he wants to stay relevant. And I'm not saying rap over some trap beats because that's not him.
Yeah.
But I do believe that he still has it to where I believe every rap veteran still has it. Big Daddy Kane should still be making music as far as I'm concerned.
Speaking of the transition, speaking of new music, did you hear the new Gangstar album?
I didn't hear the album, but I heard the track with J. Cole.
You heard the track?
I heard the track with J. Cole.
When is the album supposed to be coming out?
I'm not sure, but I heard Diamond, what is it, Loyalty, Family and Loyalty. Oh, man, beast.
Supposedly that's J. Cole's last feature he's going to be on.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, man. I'm going to miss him then because every track he's been on, he stole that track.
Oh, yeah. It was a good...
He's been killing everybody.
It was vintage. It's nice to hear Guru's voice again.
Yeah, it was, definitely. And a premiere beat that I actually liked because lately the stuff that he's been doing, it still sounds like he's stuck in that 90s groove. And I understand that that's his signature sound, but even you can update your signature sound, I think. You know what I mean?
Right. I think this was definitely an update.
Yeah, and it showed, and I liked it, and it was a nice groove, and it was good to hear Guru, like you said, but I didn't know they were doing a whole album.
That's what I heard. I could be, don't quote me on that, but that's what I heard through the
Okay.
grapevine, that there was supposedly an album coming.
Okay.
That'll be great.
Other albums that we need to talk about. Jeezy has dropped.
Jeezy's album, I was excited for the album, and then when I heard the album, I'm like, oh, okay.
I was disappointed. I thought he sounded bored on most tracks. It's almost like he was kind of going through the motions.
Yes. Yep. Like the entrepreneur track, the first track, fantastic.
Right.
And then we just like we dove down. Then one time was good. And we picked
Mm-hmm.
back up for a track, and then we went back down. I'm like, it's like a roller coaster ride.
That's exactly how I felt. I think there might have been 3 or 4 good tracks in there, and the rest I think was just album filler. And I can't stand when people, and I'm a Jeezy fan, but I just, if you're gonna put out an album, don't give us just a bunch of filler.
Right.
You know, especially these double albums, especially with the prices that we're paying for albums. I still buy vinyl, so you know. Let's make it a good album if you're going to put it out. Like I think R&B is killing right now, where they're just putting out quality albums, and I love what R&B is doing right now.
Yeah, R&B's definitely sounding real good.
Rick Ross's album, it surprised me. At first, when I listened to it, I didn't like it.
Oh, so you went back?
But I went back and I listened to it. I was like, okay, he's hitting. It's still not what I'm used to hearing, like Teflon Don and all that, but I think it's a good album. I think it's better than Jeezy's album.
Yeah, Rick Ross's album definitely better than Jeezy's album, which is a disappointment because I was gonna think it was supposed to be vice versa because I think if I recall this happened when their debut albums came out right around the same time I think, and Jeezy won that one. So
yeah, I agree. So you're saying the first Port of Miami, didn't
Port of Miami had three songs on it I liked: the Hustlin', Push It, and Blow. Those are 3 that I thought were good on it.
I didn't pick up on Rick Ross. I heard those songs, but I didn't really start supporting him till the second album, and then I became a fan. I didn't really like Hustlin' and Push It. It just was, to me, it was too much Scarface crap.
Yeah, and then I think really Trillo's where he got into the whole Maybach, layback type vibe, because I thought that's probably one of his best albums, the Trillo album. You just pop that in and let it roll, and you ain't got to skip nothing.
Absolutely.
That's how you know you got a good album.
Now I haven't heard the Dreamville album. Have you heard any of that yet?
Nope.
Okay. So far to me, still one of the best albums I've heard is still Meek Mill's album.
Still going with Meek?
I'm still going with Meek because Cardi and Meek, those are, and I bought some you know, even the Carters. And I know I'm going back a little bit, but I have yet to hear something that has blown me away like those 3 albums have blown me away. And I have to get Megan's. I want to get Megan Thee Stallion and see how her sound, but I'm just hoping it's not all stripper music. There's some people like that, not me. I believe that I've seen this girl freestyle. I've seen several videos of her freestyle, and she's definitely has it. She has the talent. She's got the pocket. I don't waste your talent on just all stripper music. That's all I'm saying.
Right, and learn better timing because you put the Hot Girl Summer album out right before summer's about to end. Like we needed that in the beginning of summer. It would have been
It would have definitely been a hot summer. But I don't blame her for that. I blame more, say, her management, you know, or her team at the record label for not getting that out sooner.
Yeah, maybe Nicki played a part. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe so. But it's a good song. It's definitely a good song.
Oh yeah,
it's a dope song.
Definitely a good song.
But I gotta get the album. But you know, maybe those who are watching can give us a little feedback by sending us an email and maybe rating the album for us. So you know, hit us up at the QI podcast at gmail.com. And give us if you have the Megan Thee Stallion album, give us some feedback on that, and maybe we could post your review here on the show.
Definitely. You heard the did you hear the Carter link? Carter 5?
No, I haven't, not yet.
You need to.
I need to. I'm gonna be honest, and I'll probably get a bunch of hate mail for this. I'm not a Lil Wayne fan. I'm not. I respect his craft. He grinds. He's dope. But he's not somebody I would purchase.
Even though if the music ain't auto-tune? Oh my.
I have no Lil Wayne in my entire collection.
Oh my. No Lil Wayne.
None.
One of the biggest selling artists of all time.
That doesn't matter to me. That really doesn't matter. I gotta like your. If I'm buying you, I gotta like your music. So I don't care how big you are. Elton John's one of the biggest artists. I got only one Elton John album, and that was the greatest hits. I'm sorry, I got two. One on cassette. But I think he's a dope artist, but I only got 2 of his albums.
Wow. Well, yeah, if you compare the two, like the original Carter that was put out compared to the leak, this is what was supposed to be released 4 or 5 years ago, before all the Cash Money shit happened. And wow, whoever chose the songs for the original didn't know what the hell they were doing.
You mean it's the leak that you have is
Right? The leak's 20 songs.
and it's not as good as what was put out, is what you're saying?
No, the leak is better than what was put out.
Okay.
Like the certain song selection, like you have like you got Mute with Big Sean, you have a track on there with Christina Milian, I forget the title is, and then you have two unedited versions. The one with Kendrick, I forget what that one was. Yeah, there's just a couple like Scottie Pippen that wasn't on the original, Life of Mr. Carter. Like these are vintage Wayne tracks if you're a Wayne fan. Like these are the hits that you want to see on the album. Like the album was just too all over the place for me. Supposedly, I think Mac Main is the one who decides what goes on. So
That's interesting.
Mac Main, you're fired, man.
Cash Doll, she's about to drop an album, and I'm looking forward to this because I really like the track that she did with Big Sean. I like the video, and I know Universal's pushing her hard, and I'm looking forward to her. I think she's got something right there. I think she's right there with Megan, and I like to see her shine. I just don't think she gets as much attention as your Nickies and your Cardis as your and Megan, but I think this girl is definitely dope, and I'm looking forward to her project dropping.
Oh yeah, definitely. It should be a good project. I'm not too much of a fan of hers, to be honest. I don't know. It's definitely not. The girls are definitely winning.
Yeah, this is definitely that time, and it's long overdue. I'm happy for them, and yeah, which brings me to Lord Jamar. Did you hear about him and saying,
No.
"Oh my God, he really put his foot in his mouth." He basically said, I'm dumbing it down. Women have no place in hip hop. Basically, it's like
Really?
he said the most misogynistic, dumbest statement that he could have. With women have been in hip hop from the very beginning.
Right.
Just like the Puerto Rican culture, the Latino culture, all of that in New York was, everything that's in New York was a part of hip hop because that's where it was birthed.
Right.
I don't understand where he thought that this was okay to put it out of
Was
his
he high?
mouth.
High, maybe?
Huh?
Drunk, high?
Maybe so, but at least go back and say, that, because I couldn't believe that he actually said this till I went back and saw the interview and was like, wow, he actually said that.
What interview was this on?
I want to say it was Vlad.
Oh, I knew you were going to say that. I said it's got to be a Vlad interview. Because only Vlad can just, I don't know, Vlad be making people, something's wrong with Vlad.
And he has a podcast with Rod Digger. So Rod Digger, somebody had tweeted her and said, you got to say something to him. And she was like, no, I don't have to say anything to him because it's just his opinion. And I don't care about his opinion, just like I don't care about your opinion that I have to say something to him. I said, well said.
I don't know, that's just, yeah. He's just a different, if you ever watch any of his interviews, like, he contradicts his own self. He'll ask you a question and then repeat the question, hoping that you will slip up, like, especially like, what was the one I was watching? I forget which one, but he was basically trying to get him to snitch on themselves.
I can't stomach Lord Jamar. I think his thinking is ancient dinosaur. Grab a woman by the hair and drag her. I don't think that way.
Yeah, and especially in 2019.
Yeah, that brings me to guys that don't respect women. How can you be married, have a daughter, and that be your mentality of women?
Right.
I don't get that.
Right now, do you think that it's socially acceptable now for gays to be allowed in hip hop or even anywhere close near the genre? Any music in general,
I mean, Elton John's gay, and he's one of the best, greatest performers, one of the greatest musicians out there doing it. So as far as hip hop, I don't care who's in it. I don't care if it's transgender, if it's gay. If you're making good music, I'm gonna buy you. I don't care what you are.
So let me ask you this: so you still buying R. Kelly's albums?
No, but I have one R. Kelly CD. I'm not an R. Kelly fan.
Oh my! You're not a Wayne fan, not an R. Kelly fan?
Nope. No.
Definitely can't play any more of R. Kelly's albums. Thanks a lot for ruining like a whole 5-6 sleeves of discs that I collected over the years.
Hey, you know what? You bring up an interesting point because I have that conflict. Like, I'm a big Al Green fan, but after reading a book on him and his abuse towards women, you know, I'm like, wow, do I really still want to listen? Because all his music is about love, right?
Right.
God, he's made religious albums, and yet he beat women.
Right, he'd make a love album, and you know what, bitch, I'm tired of you.
Exactly that kind of thing. You know, I'm like, his wife was pregnant one time when he beat her. You know, like, wow, you know, and reading, I guess, don't read books on your heroes.
Yeah.
Because, you know, reading about Marvin Gaye and what he did to his ex Jan and what she went through when he was on his cocaine binges, it just is really, it's scary what these women had to live through.
Yeah, definitely. I don't really know. Like, I think it's a trend more or less. Especially as time goes on, more of it's coming out. You know, like, especially the whole abuse thing. Like, it seems like everyone's being abused now. To me, at least. Like, every week it's something about this girl was abused by this star, or even on the news, like even
Antonio Brown. Speaking of that, we shift to sports.
Yeah, Antonio Brown.
I think the Patriots dropping him was probably the smartest thing that they could have done.
But they already knew what was going on. I don't get it. Why sign him to only release him?
I think what they were thinking was, okay, he's only got the one accusation out there, and we can investigate it. He could be allowed to play, and that woman's. Me reading the story, her story's kind of shaky. But when the second accuser came in, and she's got, you know, some people that are witnesses to the whole thing, they had to make a move at that point. And then he's sending her threatening messages. Which,
yeah, I seen that this morning.
You know, so.
But then I also seen the video of him and her that were buddy. I don't know how old it was. You seen that?
No, I haven't.
It was on Instagram, yeah. Looked like a lover couple to me, so.
Now, is that the first accuser or the second accuser?
That's the first one.
Okay. And that's why I said...
Who's the second accuser?
The second accuser was a lady who was doing mural painting for him. And she, he had commissioned her to come to his house and do a mural for him because she submitted one for a contest, and he won the contest, and he never paid the money for the mural. And he had to do another mural in his home, and he just shows up as she's working on the mural. He shows up butt naked with nothing but a towel on his penis, and just comes up to her like, "Hey."
I don't. It's just a lot. Then I'm curious to see if any more come through.
So hopefully,
surviving Antonio Brown will be coming soon.
yeah, right. Yeah, because if there's two stories, there's more stories out.
Oh, yeah.
I believe that there's more stories out. And speaking of women and football, I don't know if you know, but there's a women's pro league that's starting, fully padded, not this lingerie nonsense, but a women's league, 32 teams, 18 games. They have a playoff format, and Ja Rule is the owner of the New York Stars football team.
Really? Ja Rule of all people?
Yeah, of all people.
Oh my! What made him get involved in that?
I have no idea, but he says that the owner of the lady who's running the league, he thought that her presentation was good, and that he feels like this is a legit league, and it may very well be, because I've seen fully padded women playing contact football. I've seen this, but my problem, I think the mistake that they're going to make is that they're running in the fall of 2020. Now, the fall, the NFL is running at the same time.
Right. What are we watching? You can't. And if you got to choose between one or the other, what are you going to go?
Where are you going to go? Exactly.
Right.
You're not going to get the bomb passes from the women's league, and that's not to say that a woman can't throw and can't throw accurately. I would never put that out there. But you're not going to see her throw a 50 yard.
Right. You're not going to get that high level of play, more or less, you know.
And I believe women can hit. I've seen it. Like I said, I've seen women play full contact padded football. Mm-hmm. So they play as hard as men. They run. They hit as hard. Their kick is hard with the field goals and all that, but you're not going to get those long bomb touchdowns.
Yeah.
And I think you running during that time that the NFL is running, and then you got this XFL league that's coming out too. That's going to
I
take
heard
the
of that.
reject NFL players.
Antonio Brown.
Yeah. I just think somebody's going to suffer as far as ratings.
Now, when you say this is all woman league, now the coaches are also women.
That I don't know.
Okay, let's say the
The
officials.
lady running the league is female.
Okay.
The teams are all female. Clearly, with Ja Rule being the owner of a team, the owners don't have to be.
And do you think in sports that it was purposely done, maybe not to put women and men together and let them compete against each other because maybe of the sexual aspect of it? Like, look at what we see just with like Antonio Brown, for example. Do you
That's a
think
good
that
question.
you think that would be more? You would hear a lot more of it. Like, let's say you're playing an all-woman team, and you got a thing for this girl. You think she's hot, and then all of a sudden you start messing around with her, and then there's accusations. In a mixed league, like.
I don't know if it was something like that was done on purpose, but I think if you're going to introduce something like that, I think there might be a league out there. Does Ice Cube mix the players with his league, with the big three?
I think.
I think that's a good thing if he has females, if he signs females to the big three. And I do watch when they play during the All-Star weekend when they mix the teams up. I think that's a good thing. But for a regular league,
Right.
I don't think it's a good thing.
Because
The men play much more faster, way more physical, and I would hate to see Candace Parker guarding, say, Marcus Cousins, and she catching the elbow, whether it be accidental or on purpose, and how you got fights jumping off.
Right. Now, where do you allow women like in the NFL? Because I heard that they were going to allow them at one point be officials.
I think the officials is a good start. I think ownership is a good start. I think kickers is a good start. I think they should have the option for being, say, a receiver, but understand you're going to get hit,
Right.
and you're going to get hit hard.
Right.
But let me just throw this in. It's a little bit off the subject. Read an article yesterday about the last team that the Patriots played, and a guy did a total legal hit on Brady, and the referee said to him, "Don't hit Tom anymore."
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It was a legal hit, and they said he didn't even plant him in the ground. He didn't hit him hard. It just, everything was good about the hit. Totally legal. Nothing he did wrong, and yet the ref is saying that. And the writer of the article had no problem with it because we already have a couple of top quarterbacks out.
Right.
Really, man?
That's favoritism.
Thank you.
That's favoritism at its fullest.
Thank
And
you.
that just goes to show you certain teams in like NFL, certain teams in basketball have more influence than other teams. Like
Certain
Patriots.
players.
Patriots being one, I think Dallas being another, like Dallas being the richest team in the NFL, like that holds a certain plateau and a certain amount of entitlement. Like, oh, don't hit my quarterback, you know what I mean? And you got that money.
Right.
So who are we gonna listen to? We gonna listen to Philly or are we gonna listen to Dallas or New England? Who got the money?
Oh, yeah. I have a problem with that. But being that all of these top quarterbacks are going down with injuries, why do you think we still don't see Colin Kaepernick in the league?
That is a good question.
Clearly, the man has been blacklisted.
Absolutely. And I always use Tim Tebow as an example before Kaepernick because of the simple fact that he made it publicly that he was religious, he believed in God, and remember he used to take the stand and pray to God, and then all of a sudden he just disappeared. Same thing. It's just a different, you know what I mean? This was over pro-life, all Black Lives Matter and
Right.
everything, and completely disbandment. Like you're not allowed. You're not allowed at the games. You're not allowed at the juice bar. You're not even allowed in the parking lot. Like,
Which brings us to a larger problem, right? I mean, how is it that a totally legal, nonviolent protest became such of a problem for people? It's your right to protest, right? It's your right.
right.
People tried to change the narrative of the protest by saying he's disrespecting the flag, which clearly that was not the case.
Right.
But people want to believe what they want to believe when you stand up for your right, for whatever it is. It could be about a right to choose over people not wanting you to have an abortion. My whole thing is half of the problems that exist out here. If people just minded their business,
yes,
we wouldn't have these problems. The man had a right to protest. Let him do it how he wants to do it, and let it be over with.
Right, and that's what. But here's the thing that I get. I think I don't know if he was mad at Jay for doing the deal with the NFL, but I agree with Jay. It's time to move on. Let's see what we can do differently now. Obviously there was something there, and it was mentioned and it was brought to light. But let's not live on it 2-3 years later. Like, let's move forward.
Right. How do we get to the next level of getting things accomplished? I agree with you. I agree with the deal that Jay-Z had made. I don't have any problems with it. I've discussed this with several people. One person said, well, Jay could have still done what he's doing without making the deal. And that may be so. And I had no, I couldn't really dispute that argument. But if with the deal, he gets the NFL involved, NFL money gets involved, and they can match whatever it is that he contributes. So let's say if Jay-Z was to do it alone, let's say it would be $200,000 of his money. Okay, peanuts. Right. We know this. But with him taking the NFL to task, he gets them to match $200,000 of the money that he puts in. Now you got $400,000 going to something.
Right.
Which I think is the right way to do it. People are like, oh, he gets something out of the deal. So what? He's a businessman.
Right.
When you want to get something out of the deal, I would.
Absolutely.
Isn't that,
absolutely?
The president of the United States is getting something out of being the president of the United States.
Oh, when you're president, you do whatever you want.
He's got his hotels that were failing making money.
You can be with anyone you want, find a woman any way you want. You can send your lawyer to jail if you like. What can't you do?
And...
Oh, no paperwork. You got to turn paperwork over.
And that's going to have to be a whole nother episode that we discuss that, because my whole thing with this whole Trump situation, going back to the women, you had 16 women, I think it was, that came out and said, do not elect this man because of this.
Right.
And everybody did not believe 16 women. Now, would these people that didn't want to believe because it's Trump, would they have felt the same way if it was Barack Obama and we had 16 women?
Oh, it could, damn well be a different story. Of course. That man would have had 16 allegations against him. Now he's black and he's a rapist. Oh my God.
Oh, and he wanted to turn the United States, make everybody Muslim. Let's that's about as dumb as the Democrats want to take our guns away. And what was it that Trump blurted out a week ago? I don't believe the Democrats believe in religion. Like, really? 3 years after the fact, and you're still chanting lock her up? Last time I checked, Hillary Clinton went to every hearing that she was supposed to, that she was subpoenaed for, and Donald Trump has yet to be at one. So who do we need to lock up?
I agree, but
America did not protect its women.
No.
It did not protect those 16 women.
No, we failed them miserably. But that just goes to show you that when you're in a position of power like that, you can get away with murder.
Absolutely. And he said that. He said he could shoot somebody right there in the street in New York City and he would still be elected president. And you know what? He was absolutely right.
He was. And it's so sad. It really is.
I just, make this country great again. I think the idea of America is great.
Absolutely.
The idea of what we can be is great. But were we ever that? If we were ever anything, we were a racist country. You can't be great and be a racist country. You can't. And to hear people being berated because they're speaking in their own language at a Walmart, because they're speaking Spanish or whatever it is they're speaking, and you're like, get out of my country. I can't wait till the response is slapping somebody right back in their face like, this ain't your country. This ain't your country.
Yeah, we're all immigrants. If you don't have Indian in you,
Thank you. If you're not Native American, it ain't your country. I would love to see a Native American go up to somebody and say, "Get off my land." I would love to see that. That's the story I would like to see, and to hear the reaction.
absolutely, definitely. Yep, get off my land.
But, that's my opinion. We're about to wrap up this episode of the QI. So you can check us out, hit us up about your opinions. Hit us up on a Gmail at theqipodcast@gmail.com.
Facebook, Instagram, Twitter at the QI Podcast, and we'll see you next time.
Peace.